Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the 50 subscriber special. I want to thank everyone who subscribed, liked the videos, viewed everything, and just shared helpful comments. So that's out of the way. I just want to thank everyone. You guys are the ones who make this channel possible. So today I'm going to be showing you guys 3 Gouki deck profiles, since the deck has so much variance right now, and it's just so easy to make different ways to play the deck that I've come up with 3 different ways to play the deck for you guys to see. So each one is pretty unique from the last one, and they're all really good to play. It really just comes down to preference, in my opinion. Each one has its own pros and cons, which I'll be talking about later, and then we're just going to see some replays and deck profiles. So I hope you guys enjoy. This first profile is just a generic Goki deck. Really just focuses on the whole making his old A being a really good card, and then going into things like the Curious Lock or an Extra Link. So you guys will see that in a moment, and let me know what you guys think about Gokis in the comments below. And while you're checking out the comments, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Garo Gaming if you haven't yet. And in the description you can find all the Garo Gaming media, such as our Facebook page, Discord, Twitter, and the Patreon if you just want to help the channel out. So this is actually going to be the Curious combo for those of you who don't know this combo. It's just taking 3 Earth monsters, making Curious, and pitching Imperial Order. And from there you can link it into Troymare Griffin, who gets your Imperial Order back, sets it, and now you have a free spell negate. This combo works with any Floodgate, and actually any card, because Curious can send any card to the grave, and then Griffin can set any card from the grave. So Imperial Order is just a very strong floodgate to choose from, but you do have other options like Anti-Spell Fragrance if you want. Even if you actually feel that that your board's gonna be broken, you can actually just set evenly matched even. It's really all up to what choice that you want to do. So we're gonna get to the next profile for generic Gokis. Alright, so it's going to be the second replay for generic Gokis, and right here you see a combo starting off with a Brandish, which is a really cool thing to tech into this deck, because the extra token is very helpful if you only open like 1 Goki, for example. So it helps you get into your Zolde if you don't open Junk Forward. Now usually with the Zolde you're just going to search out a Super Agent in this deck. But if you only opened 1 Goki, so your Chainlink's just going to be Chainlink 1 Izolde, Chainlink 2 Goki, you're going to want to use Izolde to search the Headbat target for Headbat to discard. And you're always going to have that other Goki search out Headbat. In the event that, of course, you end up having Headbat in your hand for your play, you're going to just want to search out, say, Rematch for the most part, and then you're going to link out your Octo Stretch for a Link Repo. So that way you have everything that you need for your rematch to work. And then you can still have pretty decent board setups. So there's really nothing that the Altergeist player can do because they are extra linked and they couldn't special summon anything either. So they're really at a huge disadvantage here. And the reason that they summoned Millseek instead of the bird one was just because they couldn't target anything because of Goblin. So there was really no point for them to even summon that, but it just got banished anyway because of Trigate Wizard, which is a really insane card right now. It's just so easy to set it up. So that's our second regular Goki deck profile, and let's get into the second deck profile now. So this is going to be the second deck profile, and you guys are going to probably be able to figure it out by the end of this turn, what deck we're playing here. So it's just going to start off with some standard Goki plays, and this deck's actually using Summoning Sorceress just for the extra deck then. it's really helpful in this build, and the card's coming out very soon anyway. So there's no reason not to test it out and just showcase what the card can really do. So it's all just very standard combos so far. Now we're just going to make a Skull Dread because this deck wants to draw out. And Rescue Ferret's really the card that you want to get out of with this deck. And as soon as he saw the bat, he knew what it was. But for those of you who don't know what this is, we're just going to go into the second replay, and it should make more sense in the second replay. Alright, so this is going to be the second replay for the second deck profile. So this guy's just trying to make Pendulum Magician still work. It actually recently topped at YCS New Jersey. There's a 60 card Pendulum Magician build that topped, which is really cool to see that deck is still playable. But for some reason this guy goes into Firewall Dragon and Vortex Dragon, which doesn't really make too much sense. We're actually very safe to go into Battle Phase evenly matched because this actually isn't a build that needs the Battle Phase too much, if at all. So we're just going to keep doing a bunch of Goki stuff, just shortening out the deck, searching a bunch of pieces, and then we're going to summon Sorceress, just get out another piece. That's really what the deck just needs to do, is just like keep searching out more and more pieces, just deck thinning as much as possible, using as many effects to draw more cards. That's really what this build is focused on, is just to keep drawing more and more. So really the winning piece here is always going to be your Rescue Ferret. You want to get to Rescue Ferret with a setup where you can special summon 3 off of Ferret's effect. Now here's what's going to happen is Wind Up Soldier is going to tribute a monster, and that's going to trigger Firewall's effect. The monster you're going to tribute is going to be Wind Up Bat, whose effect is change defense position and add back another Wind Up Bat. And then Firewall or Cannon Soldier tributes it again and special summons the other Wind Up Bat you just added, and you just keep repeating that. So this build is the Goki FTK, for those of you who haven't heard of it yet. It was actually discovered pretty much really recently, like a few days before YCS New Jersey. So this is my build of it, and this is the second replay, so let's get to the next deck profile. Alright, so this is going to be the final deck profile, and you guys can probably figure it out by seeing what this hand is. For those of you who can't, it is Dark Goki. This is a build that only people have been talking about recently. It's actually pretty explosive once it goes off, and you're about to see why. So essentially Malicious is 3 monsters for free, and it's also a deck thin right there. So you don't have to use Rematch as early, and you can afford to not have the best combo startup possible too, because Malicious is going to make up for it by being 3 monsters in one. And it comes very easy to end on boards like this one. And I also could have had Trigate with 3 co-links if I had used Phoenix as the combo startup instead of Cerberus. And right from there, it's just easy to OTK. So we have one more deck profile, or one more replay, and then 3 deck profiles. Alright, so we got one final replay for you guys, and then I'm going to show you guys all 3 deck profiles and talk about the pros and cons of each one. So as I said at the beginning of the video, I just want to thank everyone for subscribing and just helping out the channel in general. And if you have any comments you'd like to leave, go ahead and make them. So as you saw, this wasn't like that good of a hand just because of how the hand opened, but just because of the malicious engine, it's just able to recover pretty well. And it's actually even able to go into standard Goki plays. And as you see, the hand is just like getting absurdly huge because of how much of the deck is able to just play out of the graveyard instead of having to play out of the hand too much. And they weren't able to activate Awakening just because of Ibli being on the field. So if I hadn't attacked with the Trigate Wizard and just attacked like Linkuriboh or something, that would have been an OTK right there, but I just wanted to make sure I wasn't attacking something with too much defense. And right there I'm just able to negate their only possible response and just win the game right there. Alright, so let's get into some deck profiles for you guys. Alright, so this is just going to be the standard Goki profile. First is a Goki Hugbear and a Goki Rise Scorpio. These Gokis aren't too good, they're just for names for the most part, and also for headbat targets. Then is a Spiral Super Agent. This is another it's just a generic warrior that you have like a pretty decent chance of being able to special summon. Can help you just go into pretty decent hands and go into pretty nice plays. Then there's going to be 3 Suprex, 3 Twist Cobra, 3 Junk Forward, 3 Headbat. So this is pretty much the best numbers that I've found so far. Junk Forward is just a level 3 Warrior Earth. It's pretty much really normal in this deck, really helpful. So if you only open 1 Goki, you're able to just special summon this off and you can go into your Zolde plays and then just go into some standard combos. If you open any variant of Suprex with a Scorpio or Hugbear or Twist Cobra, it's really simple to just start making really good fields. If you open Junk Forward or Twist Cobra, then same thing, you can start making really good fields. Then there's 2 Ash Blossoms and 2 Drool and Lock Birds. These are just our hand traps. Both are really good this format, especially Drool and Lock. It's really good in the mirror right now, and it's also very good against Sky Strikers. Then 1 Ibli, it's kind of our Garnet in the deck, but it's better than Garnet, so to say, because it just has an effect that you can use. But if you do see it, then you're just going to miss out on an extra draw from Mermaid. And then there's 2 Octostretch. This is the card that you want to see in your hand the very, very least. But you really do need to play 2 of it just in the scenario that you do see one of them. Then of course there's 1 Rhoda, and of course there's a Soul Charge. I'm only playing 2 Rematch. I know a lot of people like to play 3, but you don't really want to see 2 of this in your hand. In fact, you don't really want to open this card because you can just search it out mid-combo anyway. So I'm only playing 2 in this build. Then there's 2 Engage. I know a lot of people have been trying Brandish in this deck so far, and I've been finding Engage to actually not be something I want to play at 3 right now. I would even consider playing it at 1. And the reason for this is after you get to a Solde, if you draw into this card from any effect, it's a total brick and there's nothing you can really use it for. The same thing applies to Hornet Bit, but Hornet Bit is also a combo starter, so you're pretty much playing 5 Hornet Bit because Engage is only there to search out Hornet Bit. You're probably never going to get the draw 1 effect off of this card because it's only just for to start your combos up. 1 Upstart Goblin just to be playing a 39 card deck. A Monster Reborn just because it extends your combos. World Legacy Inheritor, same thing as Monster Reborn, just going to extend your combos. 2 Designator from the Grave. I believe people are playing this at 3, so if you want to do that, I would just suggest playing 1 less Engage. But the reason for this is just to prevent against hand traps stopping your combos, especially against Drool and Lock, because this is the card that will kill your deck, and pretty much just end your turn. For the equip set for Isolde is a Phoenix Blade and a Moon Mirror Shield. You guys already saw how I was using Phoenix Blade to recycle it and always have a Nightmare discard target. And how Moon Mirror Shield works is if you open it, you can always just equip it to something, so that will leave the field and go back into your deck. And this is also good in the event that you open both of them, so that just guarantees that you'll be able to go into Octo Stretch later on, because Moon Mirror Shield is going to cycle itself back into the deck. One Instant Transience. This is like a 5th hand trap, so to say. This is a really good card right now. And also, if your opponent doesn't play safely enough, they'll play into Transient's second effect, which will negate every spell and trap in its column, which is actually pretty helpful. And Imperial Order for the Curious combo. Now, for the extra deck is 1 Skull Dread. This card is really helpful because if your opponent has a hand trap and it's good enough to pretty much prevent your turn, you can go into either this and draw 4, or you can go into a Griffin and kind of try to stall them out. Firewall is kind of like the biggest piece of this deck, right next to Isolde. If you're looking to stop the deck, then you want to stop either this or Isolde. If you're looking to play the deck extremely well, then Firewall is one of the cards you want to be making very early into the game. Troy Griffin's really good, and as I mentioned before, it kind of just shuts down, it's kind of just to help you if you get shut down, but if you make it when you've already made a huge combo, it's going to shut down your opponent even more. Then it's a Curious. I showed this card in the first replay. It's just for a really cool combo where you're going to end up with a Griffin and a Soul or an Imperial Order set, so they can't use spells and they can't use special summon monster effects. It's pretty cool. A Troymare Griffin, for the most part, I just found this card, it's not too important, but it helps just like making your extra link, and if you do manage to keep it on the field until your draw phase, you're going to end up drawing like a ton of cards, so it's good in that sense, but I usually don't make it. Troymare Phoenix, I'm just going to pair this and Troymare Cerberus together. So they're both really good monsters, and with your standard Goki play where you make Isolde and then you make one of these, you can have it going either way, but I prefer to make Cerberus because then you can go into your Curious combo in this deck. But Phoenix is also a good choice if you're trying to go for your extra link. Then to Isolde, this is another really important card where half the deck, as you can see, is focused on kind of just like turboing into it, using like Junk Forward, Hornet Bit, Engage, Super Agent. There's just so many reasons why you want to be making this card, because you get an extra search to deck thin, and usually you should just take out the Super Agent or the Junk Forward. But it's also going to get you your Octo Stretch or your Headbat if you want to use Headbat over Octo Stretch. Then Subinal Sorceress. This card's effect's not too important, it's just that it's an Earth attribute Cybers monster, and you're making it just so you can go into Curious. Troymare Goblin is really important in this deck, so once you have your Firewall Dragon with a Mermaid pointing to it, you can use that effect to bounce your Ibli back to your hand. Or if you make Troymare Goblin and then you have 2 cards pointing to it, you can get Ibli and one of your Gokis to your hand. And that's just because in the middle of the combo you can normal summon Ibli a second time, and then you can get a Link 2 from your graveyard, which is either Phoenix or Cerberus pointing to your Ibli. Next is Maiden Kagari. This card's not too important at all. It's just there in case you really need to recycle the Hornet Bit and go into a like an emergency Link monster play. Then to Troymare Griffin, or Troymare Mermaid. This card's very important just because it's going to get your Ibli and it's going to start up like the middle of your combo. And finally, Link Revo. This card's pretty good, mostly for your extra Link combo, and also it can make Octo Stretch get rid of itself and turn Octo Stretch into a free search. So that's going to be the first deck profile right there. Like I mentioned before, the branch cards are kind of bricks after like you get to Isolde, and Imperial Order is still a good card, but if you see it in your hand, then you can't really do anything with it, so it's not a combo piece, and you have no reason to use your Curious combo then. So that's like the main problems with this deck, as well as going first and seeing any hand traps. You don't really want to see them just because hand traps aren't combo pieces. So let's get to this second deck profile. So this is the Goki FTK build. So I'm just going to be talking about the main changes to the build. So the difference from this build and the standard Goki deck is the 1 Cannon Soldier, 3 Summoner Monk, 3 Ferret, and 2 Wind-Up Bat, as well as taking out the engages and just going down to 2 Hornet Bit instead of 3. So first off, Summoner Monk and Ferret are basically the same card. You're just using Summoner Monk to get to Ferret. Now Ferret's main purpose is because once you get to Firewall, you're going to special summon it, and then you're going to make a Link 3. So you can either go into Unicorn, or if you don't play Unicorn, you can make like a Decode Talker or something like that. Just saying generic Link 3 works perfectly fine for this. So once you get into Ferret, Ferret's going to turn itself into 2 Wind-Up Bats and Cannon Soldier. And from there, you're going to make 2 Link 2s, or a Link 3 and a Link 1 if you want. And you're just going to have them both pointing to your Firewall Dragon, so Firewall can bounce a Wind-Up Bat and Cannon Soldier back into your hand. And that's going to activate Cannon Soldier's effect, or that's going to activate Firewall's effect since you just made 2 Link 2s. So what's going to happen there is Cannon Soldier is going to bounce back to your hand, so is Wind-Up Bat, and then Firewall's going to special summon your Cannon Soldier. Cannon Soldier's effect is going to get rid of one of your Link monsters that are pointing to your Firewall Dragon, preferably something in your main monster zone, so you can special summon a Wind-Up Bat next to your Firewall Dragon. From there, you're just going to be looping the Wind-Up Bats. You're just going to be activating the effect, putting it in defense, getting back the other Wind-Up Bat. Cannon Soldier will pop the Wind-Up Bat you have in the field, Firewall special summons the one in your hand, and then you just repeat that until you win. So the main problem that you have to acknowledge here is opening up any of your FTK pieces. The only one that you really want to see is Ferret or Summoner Monk, but because of how much level variety that this deck has, it's okay to see like a Cannon Soldier and Wind-Up Bat, for example, because you can just make an Octo Stretch if you need it, or you can just make, like if you do open, like for the example that I used, Cannon Soldier and Wind-Up Bat, you can only special summon Suprex and the other Wind-Up Bat, and then you still have your Cannon Soldier and your Wind-Up Bat in the field. Or if you use them in the middle of the combo and send them to the grave, that's perfectly fine too. Because now you're just going to make your Link 2, your 2 Link 2s, and Firewall's going to bounce them back. So you don't even need to see Ferret in the event that you do open a Wind-Up Bat and a Cannon Soldier, for example. So some other main changes is playing evenly matched. This is because if you do end up going second and then you have this, you just play it down, wipe your opponent's board out, and then go into FTK in your main phase 2. I have one in the side deck, just because I wasn't sure if I want to play 3 or if I want to stick to 2. I think 2 is pretty good with this deck, but if you do feel that you want to play 3, then you can always go ahead and I'd recommend taking out a Hornet Bit, or you can even go down to 2 Summoner Monk instead of 3. As for the extra deck, there's the only major change is Invoker, Borreload, and Summon Sorceress. Summon Sorceress is something I've been testing out since it's coming out very soon, and it just pretty much helps upspeed the Goki combo up a bit. It lets you get into Firewall easier, it gets you 1 extra card out of your deck. It's a very good card right now. And Invoker is pretty much takes your junk forward and your Twist Cobra, and that's going to get you an extra Goki monster out of your deck as well, so it's an extra deck then. So the main problems I already mentioned is just like opening the FTK, but well, opening the FTK is good, but opening the FTK pieces that you want in your deck is not so good. And also just going first and seeing evenly matched isn't so good either, but that's pretty much the same problem that the generic build has with just opening up hand traps. So we're going to get to the final build, and then after that, let me know what you guys think about them. So this is going to be the final build right here. So the major changes is a Blackluster Soldier, 3 Destiny Hero Malicious, 3 Dark Grepher, 3 Armageddon Knight, and 2 Allure of Darkness. So to start off, Blackluster Soldier replaces your super agent, so you just search this out with the Zolde instead of a super agent. As you saw in the replays with Malicious, you just pretty much make a summon sorceress that's pointing to a warrior already, and then you have her summon a Malicious, and you can turn Malicious and one other monster into your Cerberus or your Phoenix, and then use Malicious effect, get a second Malicious, and use that to make your Firewall. And then you still have a third Malicious in your deck somewhere that you can always just bring out with your second Malicious. So like I mentioned before, one Malicious is 3 monsters as long as all 3 of them are still in your deck. So it's pretty helpful, and even if you do see them in your hand, you can just get rid of them with Dark Refer, or you can always just get rid of them with the Troymare effect. And then you also have Armageddon Knight, which is a pretty good card. So in the event that you don't open any Gokis and you just have Armageddon Knight, you can still make your Zolde play by just normal summoning that, pitching your first Malicious, that Malicious gets you your second, and then you get a Zolde right there. So it's a pretty good engine, and you can also banish your pieces like Armageddon Knight with Allure of Darkness. You can also get rid of your Dark Refer if you don't want it. And there's no other major changes to this build. I think it's just very explosive. But if you do open more than one Malicious, it can be very damaging. That's just my opinion. I don't like seeing more than one Malicious, and even sometimes I don't want to see Malicious at all. So I just rather have all 3 in the deck to get rid of with, like, Summon Sorceress or Armageddon Knight. But you do have ways of getting it out of your hand, like Dark Refer, and even you can use Allure of Darkness if you have no other way to get rid of it. So yeah, that's all 3 Gouki Deck Profiles, and these are like the 3 major varieties of the deck. So let me know what you guys think is the best version of Goki right now, and let me know what you guys think of all 3 of these builds. And like I mentioned before, while you're leaving a comment, check out the description below where you can find all the Garo Gaming media, such as the Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Patreon. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for subscribing.